Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unplugged. This is a show curated by Julia Jacks Consulting. It's a show where we tell brand stories, we amplify the success of personal and corporate brands, and we give you, our listeners, a chance to learn from people you may not have had the opportunity to learn from, or meet, in the normal course of your life or your business. So last week we started off January with a bang. January was also our third season, the third season of Unplugged, and it was an extremely thought-provoking session. It was informative and very engaging with Pastor Bidemi McMurdy, and that session was packed with a whole lot of incredible nuggets for life, for work, and also everything in between. So I don't know what your favorite nugget was, but mine was in order to see, you must be aware of G. And G was gifts, your life experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, and also your environment, where you live, where you do business, your mind, the environment right there in your mind as well. Well, there was so much. So I just say, follow us on YouTube and at Julia Jacks Consulting, and you'll see all of it there on YouTube. It's there, it's all there. So today we have another high powered session for you. And I'm sorry, today we are experimenting with IG for the first time, and I think our guest just left, but she'll come back. I'm sure we will keep popping in and out. I hope the audio is better on IG right now. You know, so this is our first time with audio with IG, but I promise you we will keep expanding our scope. You know. So today we have another high-powered session. In my opinion, I believe it's high-powered because the person who's coming on to talk to us does not she does not muck around. She's my friend, and she's somebody that I met years ago. You know, one of the past guests we had on this show, his name is Maple Dapper, had told us that access is a major asset. Never take it for granted. Access is a major asset. And I can't tell you exactly when I met Ekaette Umoh, but I can safely say that over time, we have kept a watching brief on each other, and we follow each other's progress very closely. And she's a guest today, and she's called the Profitability Queen. Why is she called the Profitability Queen? I have no idea whatsoever. I think I have a little idea, but she'll tell us in a minute. But let me bring her on screen and welcome her. Hi, Ekaette. Welcome. Welcome,
Thank you
welcome.
very much. I appreciate this.
Okay, but you have to join us again on IG.
Okay, you were in. Oh, so I have to go back. Can you see me now?
I can't see you yet.
Oh, but it said I joined.
I can't
Um,
see you.
I just saw a notice the profitability queen joined. So should I exit and come back?
Only on IG.
Okay, so I'm coming back in.
Okay. Welcome everybody on Facebook. Welcome, welcome,
You
welcome.
are to send me the invitation again.
Oh my goodness. I think we'll just ask you say, please. So while Yusi is doing that, let me introduce Ekaette officially. This is her mini bio. Ekaette Umoh is the president of the Lagos Business School Alumni Association in the Northern Zone. She looks so kind of innocent, but yeah, that's who she is. She's a mentor at the Founder Institute, and she's a visiting faculty member of the Enterprise Development Center of the Pan Atlantic University. also of the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, Abuja, and the Abuja Enterprise Agency. She draws from her experience as a chartered accountant and chartered microfinance banker to help small and medium-sized businesses thrive. She's also known as the Profitability Queen, and apart from driving all of us to say, what are you doing this year? Have you started working? Ekaette is also an acclaimed author. Now, that is the very short version of her, her bio. So, Ekaette, welcome.
Thank you very much, sis, for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Okay. So, sis, let me start with the obvious question. How did you come to be called the Profitability Queen, and why do you run the Profitability Hub?
Okay, all right. So the profitability queen came out of my um, years of experiences of running a microfinance bank and interacting with many small businesses and seeing them struggling with things that I thought were quite obvious. And I thought, if they put this little thing in place, that little thing in place, this business can be profitable. But sometimes they didn't know. And so I just took it upon myself when I exited that sector to work with these businesses so that they become profitable. Because if we look at our economy, I mean, every day we are told the unemployment rate, and it is not going down. In Since I started the consulting and being called the profitability queen till now, the unemployment rate has been on the increase. And it will not go down if we don't have businesses that are thriving to be able to absorb these young graduates that we are churning out every year. And then how can that happen if the businesses are not profitable? And in those years of running the microfinance bank, I saw many businesses that were three staff this year, three staff the next year, three staff 3 years down the line. I mean, for me, that wasn't what this economy was about. And I thought, is there anything I can do to boost that? And so I started working with some businesses, and they were making profits and employing people. And so I needed to brand myself. And it just came out that the profitability queen sounded good because someone had told me, "Oh, I made a profit because of your intervention." And I thought, okay, I'm helping people make profits. Why don't I just call myself the profitability queen? And that's how it happened.
Great. Okay. Please, before I go on, could you open your IG so we can add you? Today is our experimental day, so sorry we're doing an experiment with you, but we have to start somewhere.
Okay, so I'm on IG now. Watch, and I can see you.
Okay. Um, we are inviting you to join. Well, mother,
Okay,
UC
so
is inviting you to join. Okay.
should I go back to my own page on IG or I should stay with you? I can see you live.
Should we add her here? Okay, maybe can you request to join, then we can add you. You see an option for request to join. What does it look like? Okay. And that's interesting because one of the things I wanted to talk to you, I was reading about the metaverse today. And hi, Karabong. Thank you for joining. We are trying to make sense of Zuckerberg's metaverse. you know. So let me
Okay,
take the
so I'm
time to
not
say hi to everybody. Say hi to Julia, Jules. Hi, Jules. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Afion. Hi, Vic. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Ekarabong. And hi, Atim. Hi, Sister IQ. Um, We are
Okay,
trying
but
to
I
get.
think the Profitability Queen joined, so I don't know what else it's left.
I don't know well, but you know what? If they can hear the audio, guess they will hear the audio from both of us. So let's go. Let's go on. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yes. Hi, Coco.
Okay.
That's my Coco. That's my Coco. I'm always excited when I see people call the Yam because you know we are the ocean. So, why are you running the Profitability Hub?
All right. Okay, I think I've sent the request again now. Maybe she's seen it.
Okay, okay, let me see. Okay, you accepted it, and hopefully you'll pop up. I've accepted it. But
Okay. Bravo. I think we are
yes,
there.
there you go. All right, you see, we don't
Fantastic.
give up.
No,
We
we
don't give up.
don't. No, we don't. All right. Okay, so why I run the Profitability Hub, it's very simple. It's still this thing about having profitable businesses. Um, our Nigerian economy, we can complain and talk about it and all the problems till next year, nothing will happen. We all have to deploy the skills that we have to enable the economy. Okay, maybe because I'm very proudly Nigerian and I'm not planning to leave Nigeria to any other place.
No Japan
Okay,
for you. You're not Japan.
no. I'm in love with this, our weather and the food, because I think that we
Oh,
have
the
the best
food.
weather in the world, and afang soup anywhere else doesn't taste the same as the one in this Nigeria. And so maybe those are the things holding me captive. But um, but seriously, it's very heartbreaking when you see able young men and women beg for very meager amounts, and it just takes away from their dignity. And if they had opportunities, some of them, not all, would work. So having the profitability hub is a way of saying, look, let's help businesses to become better structured, put systems in place, employ people. When they're employing these young people, they take them off the streets, their dignity is brought back to them. They don't have the need to struggle and go on the desert to cross to Europe and all of those things. So for me, it might sound like patriotic, but I think it's also selfish because I want my people to also be here, not always outside of Nigeria. And it's just my own duty as a Nigerian because I'm a Christian and I believe that God put me here for a purpose. And if my is to help businesses become profitable by just helping them to tweak a few things, some of these things are already in them. It's just to expose them to the knowledge. Okay, so organize your books. Some of these things sound so easy. Write down everything you have done. You bought something so amount. Did you write it down? Did you keep the records? I mean, everything should be documented. Maybe I should just even share one quick thing that happened in November last year. There was an opportunity for funding that I mean, because of what I do, sometimes people have money and they want to invest in young people and they call me. So someone said, oh, I have money and I'd like to invest in some business and all of that. So I called someone, I said, look, this is the opportunity. Bring your business plan, your financial statements and everything like could convince an investor that you're a serious person. And the person says, auntie, well, you know those documents, it's too much work. And I'm like, but you'll be disturbing me about running a business that will change the world and you don't have any records to show that you can actually change the world. And by the time she went to go and do business plan, go and do collect her, begin to write her financials up, the opportunity passed. But I think it was a lesson also for her. So it's the same thing, just very basic things. And another thing is that Nigerians, we don't like to to collaborate with people. You want to do everything by yourself. It just doesn't work. I mean, you will never have a massive business if you want to do everything by yourself. It will, if your business depends on you, you just put yourself a job. That's effectively it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the point you made is a point I discussed with a young friend of mine today. And I also coach, apart from consult, I coach and I train. And I said to her, I said, I can't, you're so good to me that it hurts me that I have not been able to make any impact on your life. But it seems you don't want any impact to be done. Because when I tell you certain things, you think it's just Julia. Okay, so maybe if somebody, you pay like 5 million to get the information, it will make value, it will be of value to you. But there are people who are taking my 250, 500, 1 million, and they're making a whole lot of difference with their lives. So
Yeah.
apart from the fact that there are these gaps, knowledge gaps and skill gaps, I think there's also the willingness part of it, because a lot of people really are not willing to do the hard work. And you and I will agree that setting up a business is hard work. It's hard work.
Yes, it is.
But I have a question already, right off the bat, from Geraldine Oku, who happens to be my sister, you know.
Oh,
And she
nice.
says, he said, pleased to meet you, Ekaette. A quick question. What's the nature of the interventions you make in the businesses you speak about?
Okay, so it depends on the size of the business, on the scale. Sometimes it's just to tell them, look, put proper bookkeeping in place, and their eyes lights up, and they, if they do it, and because like Julia said, sometimes people are not willing to. People just want handout. Some people want handout, and I'm not for handout, and I'm not about handout. So some people is just to look at their books and tell them, look, they're operational inefficiencies here. You're producing something, and then the processes are so cumbersome, they're not coordinated, there's no synergy. If you put this machine in this room instead of putting it in the other room, it will work. So it's just a whole bunch of things. I don't work alone. I have associates I work with. So we look at operations, finances, even HR, and very importantly, that basic thing about bookkeeping. There's a reason why that word bookkeeping has three consecutive double letters. It's for a reason. It means it's very, very important.
Now I have to do that by myself.
Yes, so it's important. I mean,
Yes.
you can't ask anybody for any intervention financially without any records to show what you have been doing. Your bookkeeping is basically the story of your business in figures. And so, how can you tell the story of your business without the figures to match it up? So the intervention is a whole spectrum of things that we do, depending on the stage that the business in. Sometimes it's just to help them with marketing, to expose them to opportunities in marketing, or to even just package their products right. Sometimes the products are fantastic, but the packaging, it's something you don't want to even be seen with. So it's a whole gamut of things that we do as a team of people. Some people don't even have just a basic business plan. Okay, if you don't want to do a business plan, just do a business model canvas. Let's even know if what you're looking at is a viable business. I remember one day someone came to me that he wanted to start a business, and I was excited. So I leaned in to hear what he wanted to say. And he said he wanted to, this Abuja that I have lived in for so many years. And the person tells me that he's the first person to do this. And remember from our Akwa Ibom, we cook soup with crayfish. And he told me, oh, he's bringing crayfish from Oron to come and sell. And this was just 5 years ago. And before this, I'd lived in Abuja for over 19 years. So I just laughed. I said to him, that's not a business that you present as if it's a novelty, because there's nothing novel about this. I have been cooking soup for 19 years and I use crayfish every time. So I mean, there's so many ways we intervene. Sometimes we even tell some people, look, with the mentality you're expressing, what we are receiving from you, maybe you should go and find a job, because you don't want any struggle. Like I said at the beginning, working is very hard. Having a business is fun. Is fantastic in the end if you can run it properly. There's no guarantee. But that initial stage, the first 3 years, 5 years, you must do a lot of work. You will sleep at 2 a.m. and wake by 5. That's what happens at the beginning. But if you do it right, the benefits are fantastic in the end. In fact, I read a quote by Elon Musk just recently, and he said, people tell me I'm lucky, and I look at them and shake my head. And I work 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 52 weeks in a year, and they tell me I'm lucky. No, this will do the work. So if you're ready to do the work,
you need to take a vacation, though.
Yes. Oh, yes, he needs to. I mean, look at him. It doesn't look like he takes vacation, or maybe he takes a vacation in the next room in his office or something. I don't know. So, So we do a whole
Wow.
lot of things. That's why I'm going because, as I said, we want to have businesses that are thriving, that are profitable. If they're profitable, they are going to employ. If a business is not profitable, it will either fold up or not employ. And we
Yeah.
want the businesses that are going to employ the teeming, I mean, young people that we have. It's a shame that a 24-year-old in Nigeria is not equivalent to a 24-year-old in Europe and America, because the experiences are different. The 24-year-old in Nigeria may just be a fresh graduate, whereas the one in America would have finished school at 21, because there were no strikes, there were no things to stop him from. So we're already disadvantaged. And if this person decides to do a business, I think it would be nice, it would be proper to help so that these businesses succeed.
Okay. But we'll only help. We've recently refocused the vision of our business, or the remit, and we decided to work with people who not just growing businesses, but growing businesses who want to grow long and grow strong. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to dissipate your energy. You are going to dissipate your energy. So while there'll be some other people here and there that we will work on, but if you're in serious, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you know. So I'd like to backtrack a little bit. Now, this is something that men do. Well, Ekarabong said something like that, and that's really funny. I need to show this. This is about our friend Elon Musk. He says he takes his vacation in space. I guess so. I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah,
But the
I
point is
guess.
that he really does. He really does push it, and perhaps that's why I'm asking you this question. I don't like asking these gender based kind of questions, but I do work with a lot of women. You know, I guess by default it will be the women that will come to you first before the other people come to you. So, um, you're married, you have 4 children, you have loads of relatives, and you're doing all of this. You're doing all of this. I know it's not a question that men are asked frequently, because it's taken for granted that they will thrive, you know. But I also sat in a conference recently where a man said, yeah, his business thrived, but perhaps he lost out. That perhaps was very tongue in cheek. He lost out on the family part. So
Mhm.
maybe there's a lot more of the emotional intelligence coming in. But how did you do it? We don't want women to keep giving this as an excuse. My husband won't let me. My children are, my mother-in-law is, and etc. How did you do it, and how can other women achieve their personal and business goals despite the constraints we face socially and culturally, and also economic exclusion that a lot of us face?
Yes, economic exclusion. Okay, all right. So, but first of all, let me say that one of the best decisions that a person, not just a woman, a person makes in his or her life when and if they decide to get married is the person they marry. That will either make you realize your purpose in life, or to crush the destiny or purpose, or whatever word you want to use there. I've seen many people who have been crushed because of the people they got married to. Men and women, not just women. It always seems like the women are the ones, but no, men also suffer these things. But because society has told them to not be very expressive, so they just keep these things in. But sometimes some of them express it. So the choice of who you marry is absolutely very important. And then before you get married, please ask some questions, because I mean, sometimes I'm surprised when people are divorced a few months after they're married because, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. I'm like, so what conversations were you having before you got married? Did you not ask yourself, look, I went to school, oh, and my parents sent me to school and I'm not going to stay at home. I have a close friend. I feel sorry for every time. She went to school. She's extremely qualified to work, but she's never worked a day, and she's been married for over 20 years because her husband told her no work. So I asked her at one point in frustration, because I was like, what? And I said to her, did you not discuss that you're going to work? Meanwhile, his own siblings are working, who are females, are married, and he's not allowing you to work. And I mean, so these are, please, there should be desperation in marriage. You're better off just fulfilling your purpose in life as a single person than crushing yourself or even being dead because emotionally and otherwise because you got married to the wrong person. So have those conversations there. And luckily, there are many coaches now and people, counselors to guide you so that you ask those tough questions. Are you going to support me? If I'm doing better than you, will that be fine? And the way he will answer it is what will, not just yes or no, but the body language and the tone and everything will tell you whether you're going with a secure person, a self-confident. People have to be confident in themselves. And that's why sometimes there's a lady who told me she could afford to buy a new car, but they told her to buy Tokumbo so that she can see husband to marry. I said, no, no, buy the car you can afford and want. You can't try to. I mean, then when you're married and then you begin to explode financially, how are you going to hide that? So let whoever comes in your space know you are already thriving and going far. And if he's not comfortable, then he's not the right person for that space. So basically, just marry the right person that will cut the problems in half. And then always have constant communication with whoever you're married to, and then get everybody involved in whatever you're doing, your husband, your children, and then treat your mother-in-law as your mother as well. I mean, I don't understand why people always have quarrels with their mother-in-law. If you treat people the way they should be treated, chances are of them being obnoxious, difficult, are very slim. Everyone has a soft spot. Find their soft spot and get out there. I mean, I got married. My mother-in-law didn't have a choice but love me because I mean I just made her feel comfortable. Why would I want her? I mean, if I love her son, why wouldn't I love her?
Exactly.
Yes, so it's I mean, I know that they say there are witches. Me, I have never met a witch. I know there are village people, but I don't believe that they affect me. If I'm not getting to where I'm getting to, it's my fault, my problem. In fact, that reminds me, let me just say this one last thing. One day I was in a church, I won't mention the name, and the pastor preached and said, if you know your village people are doing you and you are not where you should be, come out for prayer.
And people came out.
On my role, like everybody except me. I didn't go out because I know my problem. My own is I like to sleep, and I can sleep for Africa. So that is my problem. If I'm not succeeding, it's because I've allowed sleep to take that part of my assignment. So I don't blame anybody at all. I don't hold anybody responsible for where I am. And so the long and short of this question or the answer to this is just marry the right person, have proper communication. And then, okay, another thing, this might be controversial because I hear this at weddings a lot. Don't tell anybody your problem. Don't tell anybody, keep your family matter. Please have a few trusted people that are confident to you where you can interact with. Maybe they're older in marriage or something because nobody knows it all.
Yeah.
When they're telling you, don't tell anybody. That's how somebody will kill somebody and it will like, we didn't know about it. But you're the one who told them not to tell anybody about it. So please have a few people that you confide in that are not the one that you tell and the parrots to everybody, but you should know who you trust and who you and your spouse have respect for. So that if anything happens, you call the person, uncle, this has happened, or see your, and then, or auntie, so happened. And then they call you together and you solve this matter. Love somebody that you love. If you marry someone that you love, chances of all of these unnecessary frictions would not be there.
Minimize,
so that's what has worked for me.
We have on IG. Hey, my friends on IG. Lara, it's good to see you. And she says, good work regarding the mother-in-law. Yes, absolutely. And regarding the in-laws, because it can be great support for women, you know. And we need to build a strong support around us. And we have from Ekaette Umoh a very interesting comment as well. And I need to read it as she said it. She said, Chai! I heard that too. Back then, I could have started investing in real estate, but I listened to people who said I would not find a husband if I started investing. Ekaette Umoh, have you found a husband yet? You have to tell us so. Thank God for deliverance from such mindsets. Oh, you know, yes. Yes, Ekaette Umoh, you're not alone. You're not alone. There are many people who have who have been in that
By the way, I know
place
a
of
Caribbean.
knowledge.
She's married to a wonderful man now. So
Oh, fantastic! Well, good on you, Carabong. Yeah, like some of us, we didn't get married very quickly, but very early, but we finally got there with 4 children. Well, go girl, go girl, good one on you. So I'd like to pause here briefly and do what we call a promo. We've got 2 books here written by our guest, Ekaette Umoh. I'm going to see if I can see it. Yeah, Aspire, Starting a Successful Business. Those people in Abuja, we are not giving you, because I know you have Ekaette with you. Then we have this one, Those Teenage Years, also by Ekaette Umoh, and we're giving them out. So for those of you who are online now, please just start putting a number. Choose any random number from, I see 11 people online. Choose a random number between 1 and 15, and Ekaette, just before the top of the hour, will pick 2 of those numbers. So if you're interested in getting any of those books, please let us know. This year, the soap we are cutting, on Twitter they say cut soap for me. The soap we are cutting is knowledge. We are cutting knowledge, nothing more, nothing less, because we believe that's what will help you. So please start putting in your numbers. If not, I'll just choose somebody and give. Okay, Victor. Okay, Victor has put 8. Okay, so um, let's go to your book Aspire, Starting a Successful Business. And the topic we're looking at today with Ekaette is roadmap to better business. Okay, we have a whole lot of names. Okay, okay, Yusuf's taking the numbers. Thank you guys for being so responsive. Afion, you can't take a number. You got one for free. You got one last year, so you can't say, okay, maybe for the other one, those teenage years. Okay, gotcha. So we are going to do 2 draws. So please put 2 sets of numbers. You take the first set of numbers for Aspire, and the second set of numbers for those teenage years. So let's go to Aspire. And I found it riveting right from the. I'm not someone who usually reads the forward of books. I mean, for some reason, I don't read the forward of books. But I started reading your book from the forward. There's a quote by Dr. Obadiah Malafia. I hope I pronounced that well.
Belafia, yeah.
Malafia, okay, may soul rest in peace. And I quote, successful entrepreneurs are therefore those business leaders that create successful enterprises that are not only making enduring profit, but also impacting positively on their stakeholders and on the nation as a whole. So I'd like us to deconstruct this. How can we deconstruct it? Is it deconstruct? Yeah, deconstruct it. Successful entrepreneurs are business leaders that create successful enterprises which not only make enduring profit, but also impacts positively on stakeholders and on the nation. It's your book, so I know it's. I know you know. I know you know this quotes.
Yes.
So can you break it down for us? What does it mean to really be? Is a business leader who we call a business czar? Is that the person who makes a lot of trouble, noise? Is that the person who we see on social media all the time? Who is a business leader? Can you be small and be a business leader? Can you be a growing business and be a business leader?
Yes, you can. You can. Because every word is, you define it, and it might just be relative. So small to Dangote, for instance, might be 100 million. Small to Rita down the street might be 1,000. So that is relative. But being a business leader, as I said, is relative. You can be business leader in Abuja, you can be business leader in Nigeria, you can be business leader in your village or Africa, depending on where you want to play. But in all of this, I think that you also have to define exactly where you want to be, where you want to go to, and before you become a business leader. Because everyone has a reason for being here. And if yours is to be a business leader, you have to decide and define the extent of your size as a business leader. But then business leaders influence things by just that one thing of employing people. I don't know, I'm sure you've read Acres of Diamond by Russell, something Russell, what's his name? I can't remember. But that book. Oh yeah, okay. It's a very popular book, and the man gave the speech in the 18th century all around America. The title of the book is Acres of Diamond. It's a very small book, and he said that.
I look for it.
Yes, and he said that to do business properly is to preach the gospel. So being a business leader is a fundamental thing. It's a purpose thing. If you want to, especially as I said, viable is very important, because we don't want a business that is there today and no longer tomorrow. We want a business that is sustainable, so that tomorrow someone still has where to go to work. So in all of this, being a business leader, it's what we should all aspire to, but not everybody does. Sadly, you would be surprised that not even everybody wants to be successful. I mean, that's a case for another time, because many people have these self-limiting beliefs that they don't believe in themselves. They don't think they're worthy of it. And so they just exclude themselves very, very consciously. So I guess this is not their session, but business leaders are the ones that we need in Nigeria at this moment. Not political leaders, business leaders. Because if we had proper may not be the right word, but if we have thriving businesses with these great leaders there, we will even depopulate the population of politicians. Because even one of the major politicians in this country confessed that they didn't have a job. That's why they went into politics. And they are national figures in politics in this country. So, and there are a lot of young people who are going into politics, not because they really like it, but because they don't have any economic activity that brings the money, to viable economic activities to engage in. That's why they're going into politics. So we need many business leaders in Nigeria as at this moment.
Okay. So enduring profits, what would that mean to you?
Oh, that means just sustainable, viable. That means you're doing your business right and you are growing the business. As I said, some businesses will have 3 employees year 1, year 2. When I was growing up, there was a lady who had a shop. In my eyes, as a child in primary school, that shop was very big. And then I went to secondary school, university, got married, left. I went back and that shop was there, but now it was so small. Meanwhile, in the space of that time, many supermarkets came into the city and blew. And even in this Abuja and Nigeria, there are many businesses that have been the same size, same shops, same size, many, many years. And then Ebano comes in, before you know it is everywhere. H Medics in Abuja comes in and is everywhere. Those are the ones that are viable. Those are the ones that are enduring. They are planning for tomorrow. And if you notice, these people don't work alone. That's part of, I mean, I said that at the beginning, they don't work alone. Yeah. They have a board, they have mentors, they have coaches, they have a proper board. And that's one of the things I talked about very well in Aspire. You don't just build a business because you have money today. If something happened, you got money, you go and set up a business, and your children are the members of the board of directors. Your children are minors, they can add no value. Okay, so you did that in the space of, or in the era when you didn't know. Now you have listened to Unplugged. Please, if you are one of those guilty of having only your children who are minors and not capable of adding values, after Unplugged today, go to CAC and change that. Look for people who are capable of adding values. Not your friends who think like you, people who challenge you. Find people who challenge you. If you're here today and tomorrow you're in the same spot, you have not grown. And your children can add no value. And okay, so even just talking about CSE registration, that's another thing. Some businesses
that's another thing. Yeah,
they're not recognized as a legal entity in Nigeria, and then something happens, the business is dead. Because the person has died, the business has died. They'll say, that was a successful business. No, it wasn't a successful business. It was just a job run by one hardworking person.
It was a good hustle while it lasted, eh? Yes. But it was not a business.
No, it wasn't a business. because it has to have structures in place, and you have to have the right people in place. You have to speak to the right people and get them. And everyone who is the member of your board doesn't have to be a shareholder. That's part of the problems. People think, oh, I don't want to give my shares to people, so I don't want them to be on my board. No, they can just be directors, and you pay them their directors' fees for the contributions they have made in your business. And you have a tenure, so you review maybe after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or 2 years, however you want it to your business. And every time, if they're not adding the necessary value, there's some matrices that are used to measure all of these things. And then you dissolve the board, and then thank them for being there for the period, and find people that can add value to your business. It's a very exciting thing to run a profitable business, but you have to do it right, and you can't do it alone. You need people, because you have to have skills in other areas. I can't do the legal part of my business, so I have lawyers I work with. You can't do it alone if you want to have an enduring, successful business. It just doesn't happen.
I just suspect that we started a conversation that would be 1 hour. Will just not do it. But we have business owners on this platform, and I'm just wondering, are there questions that you would want to ask? Because this is the profitability queen. She does not mess around. You may not want to take my own messing around, because Julia doesn't mess around, and I'm your friend, so you may not want to take it. But she's speaking, like I said, the gospel of business. Yeah, that's what I'd call it. So if there's specific questions you have, I don't want to call you guys out, because it's not proper to call you out. But if there are questions you have, please ask, because every year that you stay at the same level, every year that you stay not doing anything with what you have, your ideas, first of all, I would ask, before you do a business plan, because I happen to be one of those that started a business, and the business with partners, and we didn't have a business plan, but we had, what Yorubas call Babanla, massive grit. And we had knowledge, and we learned on the job. It would have been easier with a business plan, because when we went to meet the investors, the main investor at the time, because we didn't have cash, but we had passion, and he said, I want to meet everybody who's going to be an executive. So we met a couple of times, we spoke, and he said, I'll put my horse on you. I'll place a bet on you, because I believe in you guys. Now go back and do some of the work that you had to do. But he was convinced from listening to us. We said, this is how we are going to be different, and this is how we are going to stay on the blog, on the phone. But let's go on. When people have more questions. Okay, somebody has a question. Do you do the strategy for foundation? Joan, I don't understand your question. Do you do this strategy for foundation to have a director for a period? And how do you measure the input of directors? Joan, could you just explain, do you do this strategy for foundation? Do you mean at the foundational level or for foundations? But I can, before she tells you anything, yes, you can remove it. It has to be in your memos and articles, but you can remove any director. They're not there for life, unless you choose to keep them there for life. Yeah. What if they die? Okay, for foundation, so for not-for-profits. Yeah, it's a business. It's just you don't. Well, there you go. I'll hand it back to you. You tell us about it, Ekaette.
Oh, all right. Okay, so every enterprise, every institution. Okay, so I'm sure some people would say that I am too much for documentation, but it's important that you put all of your desires on paper. So you want to have directors. Why are you bringing each person as a? Please don't be emotional about business. Or any enterprise that you want to run successfully, don't be emotional about it. Don't bring this person in because they were your friend in university or secondary school, or you had a problem one time and they dashed you money. Fine, thank them for the money they dashed you, and then still go ahead and look for the proper person for the position that you want, because you want to squeeze out all the value from every director in on your board. So okay, I just remember something funny about this director thing, but maybe I should leave it out. All right, so it's important that you find out who, and also the word integrity may not seem like a huge thing for us now, but it is. So find people that their names are able to open doors for you. Like Julia said, they went to this person because of who they are and what they have done. A door was open for them. Find people that can open doors for you. You don't want to carry one problem and go and meet a bigger one. Find the people that their names are clean. Their names are clean. They have, and thank God for Google. Everyone is Googleable now. There are no controversies around them, so that you get these people and then exit them. Okay, so in Aspire, I talked about exit strategy because this is one of the reasons some businesses have remained small, because people are afraid to share. But I keep asking them, what are you afraid of sharing? So you are a 1 million naira size of business. What if you decide to collaborate with people, have partners, and you become 100 million? Aren't you better off with 10% of 100 million than 100% of 1 million? So because people are afraid, okay, so have an exit strategy. So after we have reached maybe balance sheet size, after we have reached a certain number of years in operations, after we've reached a certain milestone, we are going to pay you off, or this and that. I mean, so they don't have to share your profits if you don't want, but you know that sometimes the profit you're sharing for them might also be a motivation for them to have more insights, and then synergy. You know, in business, 1+1 is not, I mean, in terms of your board of directors, 1+1 is not always equal to 2. If you have 4 directors, the 4 directors individually may produce, say, 100 million each. But when 4 of you are together, you can produce 1 billion because of that thing called synergy. So it's important that you look at that. And please, there's an exit that you can use. So if you have an NGO, a foundation, and you're thinking, oh, you don't want them to be there for too long, there's exits for you.
Okay. There's some words that you use that I think might scare some business enterprises, etc. You know, the word business plan, I think it looks, but you break it down very well in your book. So guys, you know, if you don't win the book today, read the book. It's also available on her website. We'll put up the her website here. The e-copy is available on her website. We'll read the book. I mean, I'm reading it. I've been running businesses for heaven knows how long, but I'm reading the book as well because, okay, so her website is www.ekatteumoh.com. You know, I'm going to leave that on for a little bit. You know, so words like balance sheet, they're scary, but a little bit scary, but you need to know. You need to know your profits and loss. My daughter has started running a t-shirt business, and I said to her this morning, she came up, oh, mommy, I have ideas for new t-shirts. I said, we haven't run the P&L for the last transactions you did, so I'm not going to be investing until we run the P&L. She needs to know exit strategy. You know, if it's your husband, I don't know, I don't want to break any marriage, but if it's not bringing any value to your business, you need to really think about it. You need to think about it. Are you going to let your business die? Is it so important to you? You need to think about it. You know. Let me just see if we have some more questions. Okay, if you have, okay, this is from, oops, that's not from, this is from Charles Sedoni Atameso. If you have directors already in the foundation sector, I guess that's enough for profit sector, who are not functioning but already in the CAC registration document, what can you do now when their tenure has not elapsed?
Okay, so I mean, okay, so one thing you would want to know is what was the agreement for this interaction, and what is the tenure, and then sometimes you can appeal to people when they are not pulling their weight. Sometimes people are purposely not contributing, maybe also because of you not contributing. Because sometimes we tend to blame other people, but we haven't even looked at ourselves. Maybe you haven't even clearly told them what they are supposed to do, because in the excitement of setting up a foundation, you just called your uncles and people to be involved in your foundation or business or whatever, and you did not clearly tell them their responsibilities. There are no guidelines, there are no targets, there are no milestones. So what do you expect them to do? I mean, this session is called Roadmap for Better Business. There has to be a roadmap. What's the roadmap for your foundation, and what are the milestones? So you're on the road. In fact, I'm sure we all have Google Maps on our phones. When
Yep.
you're using Google
Yes.
Maps to go somewhere, they will show you where you're going to, and they will show you milestones. This hospital is close to that place. This market is there. This supermarket is there.
Yeah.
So have you told them the milestones for what you're doing before you think? Because it's an emotional thing. It can cause in fact, they can discuss in the village like that you told your uncle who is older than you to leave your foundation. So you want to be very careful how you go about it, but just be very clear about what you want and what everyone is expected to do. If they are not pulling their weight, then you point it out before you can now say, oh, no, we have to dissolve this. And then you can bring in a lawyer to help look at how your MEMAT was structured in such a way that these kinds of things are taken into consideration, because you don't want to be dragged down by people who are not pulling their weight. But you yourself pull your weight and put the milestones clearly there, the targets, objectives, everything should be clear so that everybody knows what they're doing. And even when they are not doing well, I used to be in the banking sector, and you'll be given a target. If you don't meet your target, you start crying already on your own before they even call you up, because you know you didn't. How do you know? Why do you start crying? Because before you've been called, because you know you didn't make your target. But when you know you have made your target, you're very confident. When it's your turn to speak, you speak with confidence. So it's the same thing. Let people know. Everyone, human beings, we are goal-seeking or making organisms. So if there are no goals to be achieved, then you're just having a jamboree. I'm sorry.
Yeah, or maybe you're just fooling yourself that you're running a business, and all you're doing is wasting your time. Okay, this year is the year of truth telling, don't
Truth,
waste
yeah.
your time. Yeah, don't waste it. The truth will set you free. Always. Always. So, question, a bit controversial. Do you think as women and even as people from certain minority groups, social, ethnic, racial, physical, neurologically different, any minority group, do you think we put a lid on our capacity to grow and run good businesses? And if you think so, why do we? Because I know there's a time, me and my former partner Udeme Ufos, we used to say people from our area, everything they want to do a Togo business, small thing, let's just do small thing. And part of what we wanted to do was to rally against that Togo business syndrome. It doesn't matter if you're in a room. Listen, with the metaverse, I mean, you can reach the entire world.
Yeah, true.
So what do you think about this? Because I do find that that women, especially in marriage, they just want to let me just do this small shop. Let me just do small hair. And from my area, it's like I just want to do small boutique. And your boutique is not even on the main road. How people, where will you get the footfall? But what do you think about that? Yes.
Okay, all right. So this is it's actually a very sensitive thing for me. Yes, because considering where we come from and all of that, it's okay. So let me say this thing. It's a personal story. So because I know about that, and I was in that. I was born into that environment, but at a point in my life, I had to say no. I remember that when I was growing up, maybe I was in primary 4 or 5, I looked for a way to change my name from Ekaette because I was really embarrassed by my name. I didn't like it because I thought, and we all know why, Everyone's house
Yeah.
help was the top job, which was to be a house help somewhere. And so I
House
just
help.
hated my name and I didn't like it. And but I just managed it. In fact, at a point, I even tried to change my middle name because my father, oh my goodness, he's such a typical Ibibio man. He's even when he had an English name, he refused to use it. And so I even tried to carry his English name, Jimmy, to put in my school name. I wrote it in one of my exercise books. My father almost killed me that who told me that was my name. That in fact that book didn't belong in my house until I cleaned up that Jimmy and put back Udo, which is my maiden name, Ekaette Umoh. I just hated the name because of that mentality, because of where I came from, because of what that name was associated with. I hated it. But and even to make it worse, one day I went up to my father. I think I was maybe 17 or so. That look, I want to change my name. I don't want to be Ekaette anymore. I want to change my name to an English name. And he just and he asked me why. So I said that my name is too local. And he said one thing. I think it was just maybe God speaking through him. He said, make it, because I said my name was too local, he said to me, make it national. And just continued reading his newspaper. It was because of that. And I started saying, so all these people that are national, how? Why? But their names are this and that, and they're not changing anything. And that was actually the motivation that pushed me. In fact, I think that it's that motivation that pushed me to do almost everything I have done. I don't, and that's why I also push some of my friends who have that mentality that because you're a woman, you can't. No, no, no. In fact, if I go to a place, I will go to the front seat. Unless it is written there reserved, I will sit in the front because I want to consciously say to myself and the women. I remember one day I went for an event with a lady. I went to enter the front door and she said no. She dragged me that we should go through the back. I said no, we will go through the front. This is Nigeria. We are taxpayers. We can't go through the back door unless the front door is locked. And so we went through the front door and she was like, Ekaette, you get hurt? I said, no, I don't get hurt. I'm a Nigerian. This is our country. This is our event. So this mentality and then being female and allowing we have to get used to the fact that we are female. There's nothing we can do about it. But we have the mental capacity. Okay, for one, I don't believe that we have the physical, so what a man can do, a woman. No, I don't believe that one. Physically, men are stronger, and the job they can do, let them do. The ones we can do, let us do. But mental capacity, I think God just distributed it very evenly. And so we should use what we have and do not sit back. You know that lady who says lean in, the lady in Facebook, lean in. Let's all lean in. Let's not
Sheryl
speak
Sandberg,
and yes, Sheryl Sandberg. Let's not allow a man to. I mean, sometimes you go to a meeting, you say something, and it's not heard, and a man says the same thing, and the same thing you said, he repeats it, and he's applauded. No, you should raise your hand and say, "No, I said that first. It came from me." So we can't continue to grow that because really everyone has been
I'll tell you
given
what it's called. It's called it's called mansplaining.
No, we can't
It's called
continue to
mansplaining. There's
accept
actually
it.
a word for it. Mansplaining,
Yeah,
explaining.
we can't continue to accept it. You have
No, we don't accept it. We go back and say, just as I had said, and you piggybacked on, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you go back, you have to be aware.
And then we're all enabled and endowed with capacities. If you continue to play small, you will never utilize your full capacity. And then on your deathbed, what are you going to say to yourself when your life flashes through you? Is it through you or in front of you? And you see all the things you could have done and didn't do because you went to play small. For me, those things scare me to do what I'm trying to do. And I think I haven't even started. And that's why one of my slogans is no excuses, results only. There are no excuses. If some human being has done it, even Elon Musk now lives in Mars, and beware. He goes there, whatever he has gone, maybe not him, but he has been enabled. People are going there. So there's nothing absolutely on this earth that someone else cannot do. And if you can't do it alone, as I keep saying, find partners that you can do it with. There's nothing as beautiful as having strategic partnerships in relevant areas.
Absolutely. Collaboration is very important, very important. And to our friends on IG, I know we're at the top of the hour, so we'll have to say bye-bye to you for now. I know the for IG Live it's 1 hour, but thank you for joining us and thank you for sitting with us through the our experimental period. Thank you very much for staying with us. We'll see you another time. So for those we have yeah, we're at the top of the hour, and really I think Ekaette and I could continue this conversation, but we will not, because we would like you to go check her out on the Profitability Hub and use her business, and we'd also like you to come to Julia Jack's Consulting and engage our services as well. You know, we didn't just come here to play, neither did you. So, you know what, let's do this, ladies. Let's do this. Ekaette, before we do the raffle, could you please just give us like four quick tips for, or maybe two, three, whatever you think are the strongest messages. You know, you've hit so many points that somebody could use as a roadmap for better business. And while we're doing that, please can you guys look on the comment section? Some of you have duplicated other people's numbers. Buki, Wanchi, I think, and John. Okay, John is okay. Okay. So Buki and Wanchi, could you just change your numbers so we can do the draw immediately after this? Sorry, Kite, that was just a bit of housekeeping.
Okay. All right. So to help, okay, first of all, you have to know where you're going. I remember the analogy of Google Maps. When you open your Google Maps, it tells you, ask you where you're going, and then you put in the place, and then it takes you there. So for your business to be better, more successful, where are you going? What are the financial goals you have for yourself in 2022, for instance, or for your business? Your business, what are the goals for the business? If you don't know where you're going, so anywhere will take you there. Like in what's that? One of those animations that we listen to. You know, so you have to know exactly where you're going in business. Are you trying to make a profit of X million this year, or you just want to even survive this year because last year you were completely knocked out? What is the goal? When you know the goal, then you now begin to put down the action plans. Because in all of this, I mean, we've spoken for all of this period. If you don't take action, nothing happens. You don't go to Julia's consulting, you don't come to my consulting, nothing happens. And then we'll sit down and complain about Nigeria, whine about Nigeria. I'm one of those who doesn't like complaining about the things I can do nothing about, because it's not in my circle of influence. It's just something that concerns me. Okay, I'm just concerned. What can I do? Nothing. The ones I can influence is this place where I'm doing the Profitability Hub. I'm consulting and coaching businesses. I'm mentoring people to become more successful. I was very happy when a lady in 2020, the peak of COVID, told me that my intervention was what made her business year 2020 the best. And guess what she does? Fashion. She knew where she was going. Yes. She knew where she was going and told me, and I said, this. These are the markers on the road. These are the actions you should take. And she implemented, very importantly, implementing. Because telling you everything is one, but doing what you're supposed to do is the main thing. And so, first of all, know where you're going, and then put the action plans in place. If maybe when you know where you're going, you will also want to know why, because if you know why you're going, then you will be focused. You will not be distracted. You'll be disciplined enough to stay the path. Because in the world today, there's so many distractions. If you open your phone, there are 1,001 new businesses coming at you that are promising you profits in 90 days or less. So if you're not focused and disciplined, then you will. But if you know the why of that financial goal, of that business goal, then you're going to stay the road. If you're focused, disciplined, and you see your milestones and you take the actions, I guarantee you 1 year from now, we'll be sitting here and having a party because you listened and went to action. So bottom line, know where you're going, know why you're going, be disciplined, and very importantly, look for collaboration, interact with people, have partnerships. Those things, sometimes they don't work. I'm not going to tell you that all partnerships work or all businesses work. No, it's not true. There's some that you have made a mistake or you are the mistake yourself. But there are still many businesses in the world today that are successful because 2 or 3 people came together and said, this must work. You have to have a clear vision. And I think that's one of the things I talked about in my book. And and in the book, I didn't make it difficult to read. Julia, I'm sure you can testify. It's a story. So a beautiful story of all these people that she's interacting with, her board of mentors and all of those. So all the aspects of business are very clearly stated out to you. If you listen, pay that small fee, read the book, listen to Unplugged as often as they come on air, you're going to learn. And 2022 should not be the same as 2021. In fact, towards the end of 2021 or 20, I read something and one man said, if you've not improved your life, if you're not useful, if you're not valuable this year, what do you need next year for? That's what we
Oh, wow. Oh, I need to write that down. If you've not improved your life this year,
if you're not valuable this year, what do you need the next year for?
Okay, as I say, question, jam, answer. Well, interestingly, Ekaette, thank you very much. We haven't finished, but I'd like to say, interestingly, next week we are going to continue on this path, and we're going to talk to somebody who has run a very successful partnership. 3 women, you know, they always say women can work together. Well, hey, you know what? 3 women work together and they're making it work. Next week we're going to talk to Ian Samuel Rungbe, who is my coco and somebody I admire a lot. She's a retirement and succession planning specialist, and she's going to talk to us about what is your end game, because there's always an end game in the business. There's a why, and then there's an exit. Everybody has to exit. So okay, sorry, my English is bad there. I said should be if you're not. Please, it's not you've not. I went to school. Oh, sorry, it's typing. I didn't just typing. Forgive me. If you're not valuable this year, what do you need the next year for? So, Ekaette, please, for Aspire, could you pick any number between 2 and 14? Bookie, we don't have your number for. Okay, we don't have your number for Aspire.
Okay, I'll go for 5 and 7.
Okay, we don't have a 5 for Aspire. Okay, Bookie, did you pick 5? Bookie, please comment if you picked 5. UC tells me and UC doesn't lie. She just typed. Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Okay. Bookie, just say yes if you picked 5. I believe UC. So, Bookie, if you got 5, you have to send us your if you are 5, you have to send us your address. I hope you're in Port Harcourt. You know, so Bookie, you're the proud winner of this book, Aspire. Congratulations! Congratulations! And we have this other one, Those Teenage Years. So any one of you who has gone through, well, I think there's no teenager here. So we've gone through. It's a great book. I didn't go to boarding school when I was in my early teens, but I did do. Finally, they dragged me in there to do my A levels. You know, it was a learning experience. You know, so we have numbers. I'll just take it around now, just so you pick anyone. We have number 11, number 3, number 6, number 5, number 15, and number 8. Those are the numbers. Number 11, number 3, number 6, number 5, number 15 and number 8. Bookie chose, she chose 6.
Okay,
Well,
so I'll go with 15.
you go with 15. Okay, Onoye Berdugo, you are the proud winner of this. It's coming to you. I think we
And
need
by
to
the way, the book is
redo.
also for those who were once teenagers. So, I mean, I've people who didn't go to boarding school, but they were once teenagers have called me to say some parts of the naughty things they did in secondary school that this book reminded them of. And for me, that is, I don't know. Maybe it's a story for another day, but the reason for that book is for family bonding and friendships because when people read it, they reignite, they call each other up, and then sometimes they stay up all night recalling their teenage years. So for me, it feels very fulfilling when people tell me that's the impact of the book on them.
I read it. I actually had, Onoye, interestingly, I have a copy. I just saw when I was going through it, I have a copy for your son. But since it was, her son is my god son,
Godson.
and he's right now in boarding school, so I think he can relate to. So she's getting two copies coming her way, one for her and one for
Wow, fantastic.
yeah, yeah, yes. Okay. Yes, Bookie, you did 5. Yes, you did 5 to begin with. No. So you are winning Aspire. You're the winner. And then for those teenage years, it's Onoye Berdugo. Congratulations, Bookie. Congratulations, Onoye. And thank you very much, Ekaette, for being with us today. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. 11 o'clock is an awkward time, but you joined us. Thank you so much. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. We'll have a conversation on our platform, on the Unplugged platform, about a time that might be more convenient. But as many of us as there are, there'll always be an inconvenient time.
Yeah.
But we're streaming, like we live stream on IG today. Very soon we'll also be streaming on YouTube. But now you can go back and watch YouTube before the end of day today. Very shortly you can watch it. So thank you everybody. Thank you, Ekaette. Ekaette, I'm just giving you a heads up. We are going to have a workshop, very intense workshop. I'm giving everybody a heads up to called the Business Toolkit by March. Sorry, by May, we're going to have a business toolkit. It is not going to be cheap because the people we are bringing in are people who are going to sit down with you. It's going to be a virtual workshop, maybe hybrid if you can work it out, way, you know. But everything is virtual now. I just looking at the metaverse today. You can actually create and send your avatar to interact. It's coming, guys,
Yeah.
and we are
I'm
still
sure.
talking. We are still talking about how to sell fabric and how to sell potatoes and tomatoes. The metaverse is here. It's here, you know. So go read about the metaverse, and when you finish, talk to Ekaette, talk to me. We'll hold your
Yeah.
hand. Take care. We love
True.
you all. Thank you very much, Ekaette.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Bye,
me. I
everyone.
appreciate. Bye
Oh, I
bye.
really appreciate it. You never even hesitated for a minute. Thank you so much. Thank you. So bye everybody. See you next week on Thursday. My
Bye.
Coco, see you. Thank you.